Welcome to Straight No Chaser. So grab a glass and join your hosts, your girl Ann BZ, Pastor C, Thin Bad, and the Chief.
Welcome to Straight No Chaser, where we never dilute the issues, we only serve the hard stuff. It's your girl, Ann Beezy, and as always, I'm joined by my fabulous co-hosts, Thin Bat.
Hey, hey, hey.
And the Chief.
Hello there.
Now, this has been another busy, crazy week, and by now you are probably aware that the entire world has been shook and mourning the loss of Nipsey Hussle. He was killed earlier this week in Los Angeles in front of his business and in front of his child. According to all the reports, Nipsey was completely invested in the community. As a young man, he was an active gang member, but he pretty much turned his life around and was starting several businesses, a STEM program, and was known to give out clothing and supplies to the neighborhood children. As far as not only in his neighborhood, where he was, which he repped, Crenshaw and Slauson, that area, but also other areas as well. He actually came to Vegas and donated like all these Pumas at Desert Pines High School as well. So he was pretty much known for going around the community and doing things like that. The tragic incident was captured on video, and the suspect and his accomplice have been apprehended. Now, this tragedy highlights the challenges that face urban communities across the nation. Chicago, Baltimore, Los Angeles, and cities in between continue to lose lives every day. Tonight, sorry, I'm a little bit flustered. Tonight, we want to talk about how to realistically respond to what's going on in terms of this gun violence and this madness, and what can be done by all the community stakeholders. So before we jump in, I want to remind the audience that you can call in at 702-425-7789 or chat with us live on Spreaker. We want to hear from you. So honestly, wow, what a mess. When this news broke, I was just hurt, honestly. I've been a fan of Nipsey's music for a little while. We have family, especially one of my play cousins who lives in Orange County. He is a rapper, and he used to work very closely to Nipsey, opened for him at the Observatory in LA. And you know, it's just really sad because this was a guy, you know the type of person you're dealing with when the LAPD is known for not really liking rappers and dealing with stuff like that. And upon the news of Nipsey's death, the police chief of the LAPD actually came out and said when he saw the name, he was taken back because this was a guy who was really trying to make a difference in the community. He was into investing back into his own community. I mean, this is just really tragic. He dated Lauren London. They just had a son maybe 2 years ago. He also had a daughter who he was killed in front of. And, you know, the disrespect is just crazy. He was killed in front of his store on Crenshaw and Slauson, the very neighborhood that he was trying to save and represented. And it resulted in violence so this is basically the story. Nipsey had gone to his store, the Marathon, to actually give clothes to his friend who just came out of jail. His friend had just gotten out. He was trying to hook him up with some merchandise. While he was there, as always, he saw people. He always speaks to people, so he was outside, mingling, talking to people. And there had been a guy who came to the store earlier, and he told him to leave. Why is still being rumored, but at the end of the day, it's pretty irrelevant. But he told the guy to leave, and Nipsey exited the store and was outside, still talking to people, talking to fans. His daughter was outside as well. And the guy came back, shot at Nipsey, kind of moved back to see if somebody from his team was going to, shoot back. Once he saw that they were not armed, he went back and shot him again in close range and stood over him, shot him again, and kicked him in the head and ran away. And this was done in front of his business, within the community that he represented and held down, and in front of his family and friends. So, this situation is just really, really, really tragic. Everybody from NBA players to the game to Beyonce to just everybody who... This is the first celebrity death, especially a rapper celebrity death, where everybody is just in solidarity. I have not seen one bad thing posted about this guy. So, this is just a really sad situation, and it just kind of speaks to the violence that goes on, because for somebody to be, yes, he was a former gang member, but I really don't even think that's... I'm not going to say it's not necessary to know about him because he turned his life around, but I'm really just proud of the media outlets for not making it the headline. I've seen this story reported on a multitude of media outlets, from NBC to MSNBC to CNN, and all of them have given him the proper and justified headline, highlighting him as a staple in the community, and I'm really glad about that. But at the end of the day, he used to be a Rolling 60s Crip, and what comes with that territory, even though he might have been out the game for so long, that's just kind of one of the things that comes with the territory. He did have a bodyguard. His bodyguard was not there because he didn't tell anybody he was going up to the store. He was just going, as a quick, good gesture, and was unfortunately just caught off guard. So, yeah.
Well, this was a tragedy all the way around when you look at it. Certainly, when you think about, this is a young man that, according to all reporting, he was really in the process of turning himself around. He was a member of the Crips gang in down in that area of Slauson in Los Angeles, according to reports. And, just from the reports that you're hearing on every outlet, it appears that he was almost like a Robin Hood.
He was.
And I don't mean to say that in a disparaging way. It's just that he just appeared to want to give. But one of the things that concerns me, obviously outside of the homicide, and Thin Bad, you and I have talked about this, it also screams about some bigger issues that I see prevailing. And what I mean by that is, we've talked on many shows about the ability to cope with conflict. And so, now, obviously, they had something personal going on. Now, what it was, the investigation will have to reveal that. But when you shoot somebody at close range and then you go back and kick them in the face or whatever, Beezy said, that says it's personal.
Well, they knew each other.
Okay, so...
they knew each other, and he came to the store. I'm not really clear on what happened, but I do know that Nipsey told him to leave and called him a snitch, and maybe some words were exchanged, but
sure.
Bottom line, he was told to leave the store, and then he came back with a gun.
Well, so that just goes to the point that it was personal, and so it just screams out loud what is going on that you can't have a conflict. Now, even if you have a conflict with a friend, they say, "Hey man, get out of my house," or get off my property, or get off my lawn." It's really it's very disappointing. It's very disheartening, and it's very frightening to think that the only way I know to deal with that situation is I have to go back and I have to bring back a gun and kill you in front of your family. Now, here's the other thing. You know, when you look at a person that can actually come back and kill a person, number one, not in front of their own store, but in front of their child, that also speaks volumes. And then, Thin, Bad, and MBs, the other thing that I thought about is this is another example of, here is a member of the community that has done something that has harmed someone trying to do good in the community. You know, when you're talking about a guy that had a STEM program, he was giving away clothing, just a lot of the things that he was doing. Now, you know, that's a serious resource. Now, I know Nick Cannon said he's going to step in and fill the void, but look at the intentions of this guy towards that community. And here's someone else that couldn't quite process conflict resolution, and he comes back, brings a gun, and within a matter of seconds, a lot of that stuff was in limbo.
Yeah, but let's talk about clout chasing as well, because, you know, obviously I'm not in a gang. I know people who are affiliated with things like that, and, you know, obviously I grew up learning about gangs and stuff. And usually there are certain people within the community that there's just a certain level of respect for. Usually like they're OGs or whatever, but within the community, Nipsey was that guy. Whether if you were a Crip or a Blood, he was respected. And this guy was just one of the ones that seemed like he just wanted to, I guess, be known for something. I'm not really sure. I mean, they were saying that after he committed the murder, he was on Instagram Live talking about how he did it, but nobody believed him. And to me, it's just, so the price that you pay for clout chasing because you think you're hard or whatever is taking the life of somebody who is actually doing something for the community that you are a product of. Like, the reason why you're a product of your environment, the reason why you're on the streets is because of your community. And here's a guy who's trying to turn that around for you, trying to make things better for everybody. And you want to go and do something like that in front of his business, in front of his daughter? Like, that's just, I just can't with the disrespect. Like, that's crazy to me.
So Thin Bad, what are your thoughts?
He doesn't have. It's, you know, I'm at a loss. And the things that he was doing, you know, not only, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought I'd read somewhere that not only did he own that particular store, but he owned that strip,
right,
of stores. He owned that entire strip, and he had been buying properties in an effort to kind of help the community and continue to give back to the community.
Yeah.
So from an economic standpoint, he was just making great strides and setting a great example. And the brazenness of the violence. You know, I know a lot of the statistics will say that crime rates are going down in some of these cities, but yet we're hearing more and more heinous details about crimes, like, you know, murder in cold blood. I mean, people used to at least try to hide a little bit or do something under the cover of darkness, or, you know, throw something over their head. This guy's in broad daylight in 4:00 in the afternoon, in front of with people around. It's just it's ridiculous, and you know, I'm at a loss for words. You know, how we continue to kind of just cut down. On the one hand, we're asking for people, you know, what are we going to do? What are the young folks going to do? What's our future going to look like? And here's someone who, you know, trying to redeem himself from whatever his previous life was. He was trying to move on to the next phase and give back. and here we are cutting him down. Um, Someone who was trying to make who was not trying to make, but who was definitely making positive strides and being